Hello everyone, I am absolutely super excited. Thank you so much for joining this webinar. I am excited to share this information with you. And the topic of the webinar today is the 4 voices in your head that stop you from enjoying your success. So who is this webinar for? If you're constantly criticizing yourself, and let's face it, we all do it. And I am here to share information with you because I am my worst critic. You believe your achievements define your self-worth, and I will show you how your self-worth can be perceived by our critic and minimized by our inner critic and the archetypes that we actually embody ourselves. You constantly compare yourself to others. That is a very painful habit that can diminish our self-worth and minimize our impact and the good that we do in the world. And you second guess your every decision you make. I will show you which part of you actually does that and how to overcome it. You're unable or unwilling to celebrate all the things that you did because you're feeling simply it's not enough. Let me know if you actually have that in your life, because I do. No matter how much I do, and no matter how much I have achieved in my life, it seems like it's never enough, and that is devastating, and that can make your life very, very miserable. Does this sound familiar? Let's imagine you decided to go on a diet for 3 months and then you end up binge eating after a week. Happened to you? It did happen to me, and I will show you which part of you does that. You suddenly make a decision that takes you away from your big goal and you start all over again, chasing your own tail, taking one step forward and 2 steps back, and then being unhappy with the results, being dissatisfied with your own success. Your addictive habits like overeating, overspending, alcohol seem to come to play when things you want are about to happen. That's a sabotaging pattern, and again I will show you which part of you does that and why and how. You have a big deadline the next day only to find yourself organizing kitchen pantry or spending 2 hours on social media. How many of us do procrastinate or distract ourselves from things that we need to do? We need to be focusing on staying present, staying disciplined. Which part of us just steers away? How to control it? How to win over that part and to be fully centered on what you want. So what led me to this webinar? Hello, I'm Anastasha Grace. I am a clearing practitioner, deconditioning mentor, clairsentient healing guide, energy therapist. All my life I had the most critical, harsh, degrading inner voice. I was never enough, never achieving enough, not looking good enough. It was a constant chase of something while living in my inner internal hell. To the point back in 2015 when I was on the lowest low of my life and I was considering taking my life. You see, in 2014 I got divorced and my whole life has changed. I had to leave my family, my business, start a new life. I couldn't find a job for 6 months. I couldn't decide what to do with my life. I was starting my one business venture after another, and they were not working out. My business ventures failed, but new goal came in like a clockwork. I wrote a book. I tried to myself as a motivational speaker, as a realtor, as a startup investor. Nothing was enough. It was just not enough. The void within me continued to grow. I thought success would resolve everything, that I could be fixed. my father would eventually be proud of me, and I will never depend on anyone else again, that I can finally rest, and everything then would be okay. All I need to do is to become a millionaire. Eventually, I spent all the money I had and found myself at the lowest point in my life. I was 35 and my parents were paying for my apartment so I don't end up homeless. My girlfriend took me into her company to wash windows. For many, many months before every purchase, I would calculate how many hours I need to spend washing windows to afford this purchase. I was beating myself up every single waking hour. How ashamed I was and what a loser I am. All my life I had such high standards for myself. So that's the story of how my inner voice almost killed me. That's why I am so passionate about sharing and freeing people from their inner demons. So I dived in deep. I got trained as practitioner, NLP practitioner, hypnotherapist, firstly to help myself. I had to do tons of work on myself, uncover, dig out every single trauma, wounding, pattern, shadow, and look at it closely. I have done it, and I will do it 100 times more if I have to, because in my life I have never felt so secure, safe, stable, loving, loved, happy, content, joyful, and free in my life. Now I work with high-achieving, successful people and celebrities that are seeking a higher level of satisfaction, inner peace, contentment, and transformation. As a deconditioning mentor, healing guide, and emotional well-being practitioner, in my practice, I use a wide range of tools such as energy clearing, shadow work, kinesiology, NLP, trauma release, hypnotherapy, and a very powerful tool called Spiral. I'm certified in these modalities and I'm a member of International Institute of Complementary Therapies and Australian Hypnotherapist Associations. I work with high-achieving, successful people and celebrities that are seeking a higher level of satisfaction, inner peace, contentment, and emotional well-being. Imagine my surprise when I discovered that no matter how many millions you have in the bank, how many followers you have, where you are as a celebrity, or you are a successful businessman, or a stay-at-home mom, nothing will give you happiness, inner peace, joy, until you truly connect to all parts of yourself, to all fears, judgments, insecurities, confusions. Accept it, acknowledge it, and heal it. So I'm going to share some stories of my clients with you so you can see how this inner work can turn people around. So Helena started this program while going through the separation from her emotionally abusive husband. She was paralyzed with guilt and fear, suffering from pain and grief. After 7 sessions with me, she felt lighter, calmer, and more inspired and loving. Within the next 3 months, she found a new beautiful love. Fast forward a few months, her life has changed dramatically. She is a happy, inspired woman in an amazing loving relationship, running a very successful business. She says, even after 2 sessions, I had huge shifts that allowed me to release completely my fear of confrontations. I was able to clear guilt and now able to stay calm and neutral in difficult situations. I can stand my ground, voice my boundaries, and be authentic in my communication without trembling emotions of fear or need to please. I have freed up my self-acceptance and self-appreciation that led me to be more loving, inspired, and compassionate. That is powerful internal shift that takes people years and sometimes maybe a lifetime. Another my client, Janice, is a very successful model, a face of Thomas Skinner, DNKY, Victoria's Secrets, and other major brands. I was working with her for over 3 months around Paris and London fashion shows. She shared with me the following problems. I'm in my head a lot. I think a lot. I judge a lot. I judge myself a lot. I compare myself to others. I have a hard time speaking for myself. I want to shine, but in my modeling, I put myself down. I don't give my opinion because I think it's not important. I have a huge fear of rejection, a fear that I'm not worthy of success, and I'm not loved, I'm not good enough, and that I will be abandoned or rejected. So that is coming from a very successful person. So what has happened after the session? She started giving herself much more love and compassion. She has achieved amazing level of peace and confidence in absolutely any situations now that she walks into. So let's look into what are those parts of us that are holding us in fear, doubt, anxiety. Self-sabotage is when a part of our personality acts in a conflict with another part of our personality. So what are those personalities? What I will share with you today, I have summarized for you the voices of those personalities that live in absolutely each one of us into 4 simple and to understand parts: victim, child, saboteur, and prostitute. And I will be explaining in detail what are those personalities. So originally proposed in works of Carl Jung and further outlined by Caroline Meath. These are 4 archetypes that are always common to absolutely everyone. We have those behavioral traits, and I will explain how they show up in different areas of our lives: work, relationship, our relationship with money, finances, stability. And we have many different combinations of archetypal, but these 4 survival archetypes, they absolutely baseline for each person. So let's look at the victim. So first behavioral pattern is victim. You probably have heard of it, you know about it, but you do not realize how strongly it is engraved in your psyche. So how does it show up and what does it say? The victim victimizes itself. The internal dialogue will sound like, I am not smart enough, I am not deserving, I'm not good enough, and all variations of those. Of course, we're not so bluntly say to ourselves, I do not deserve this. However, when we're looking at the incredibly wealthy person, there's this tiny feeling or sense or like a glimpse of this of victim shows up and saying, oh yes, that they can have it, but I don't think I can. I don't think I'd be able to achieve that. I think this is too hard. I don't think I'm able. So it might not be very loud and clear in those specific words, but the energy and the emotions of that victim are quite present. If you ever find yourself victimizing others, or having anger issues, or blowing up in a kind of resentment or rage outbursts, anger outbursts, that is your victim talking. The beauty of the victim, it shows us our boundaries, it teaches about boundaries. So quite often when we get angry, it means that our boundaries have been crossed. However, in order to react, this victim needs to be active. So, and the important thing to remember is, as soon as one part of us, out of those four, as soon as one archetype is awakened, all four of them show up, and they are all four disempowered and kind of powerless shadow parts of us. They work strongly as a team, supporting each other. So as soon as you kind of blow up, you know that that was your victim, whether it was at work, in social situation, in the family. Victim resides in blame and control. If you feel like you don't like changes, you resist change, you want things to stay the same, you want to control, you want more information, you find yourself blaming the situations, obstacles, environment, economy, politics, whatever, in which words it shows up, it doesn't matter. As soon as you pick up on that energy or emotion of blame, that's your victim talking. And control as well, when we are not able to surrender, to allow things to unfold the way they are, that is a victim. So what else does it do? It wants to be rescued. Victim stays in a disempowered state of, please God, help me, I need this, please someone, I need a job, please someone help me with this or that around the house, at work, with money, with life situations. So the opposite of victim is a warrior. To understand a victim, just think of the energy of the warrior that's never bends down in front of any obstacles, that is fully equipped to go forward, to go and conquer and be strong and meet everything chest up, chest front, the whole life situations. The victim is absolutely opposite, is kind of self-defeating pattern. So be mindful when you feel like you placing the power in somebody else's hands or outside of yourself. How it can show up as well in life situation. Victims are taken advantage of, and whatever happens, it's never their fault. You will see it quickly in children, in disempowered state of a child, when something happens and they straight away jump, it's not my fault, I didn't do it. That's how our victim first gets developed. If we encourage that development, it will lock in and will stay in our psyche forever, and will be our best friend in living in our head. If you've seen that animated movie by Disney, about voices that living in our heads, well, that is very, very real, and that is pretty much describes how it is happening in real life. However, we do not sometimes take enough time to look into actually our patterns of speech or our thinking patterns. We just keep running with our lives, run, do, and do not pay attention. So if you feel like people take advantage of you, that you are overworking at work, at home, you're doing too much, you're not receiving any help, you're doing all the cleaning for women quite often at home, moms overworked, doing everything, they feel like they're not supported, that's your inner victim. So that's something just to catch yourself and just look at it. It's like, okay, my victim, my inner victim is very, very active. She's like right here by my side, living and complaining and making my life quite miserable and disempowered. So what we're doing today, we are catching them, we are looking at them. Again, boundaries. Victim has no boundaries. So how does it show up in the real life? It is people are walking over you, treating you like a doormat, or someone that you know. Some might come into mind, being bullied, being abused. If you are approached to and asked to do something that is not your direct duties, people just kind of feeling that they're entitled to give you assignments or give you advices or get into your life. Quite often the family situation where family members will stick their nose into your life and give you life advices and how you should be running your life and what you should be doing and what you're doing wrong. That is the question of boundaries. So instead of focusing on, okay, they are so wrong to do it, look inside of yourself and ask yourself, which part of me allows this to happen? So nothing is ever happening to us that we're not allowing. So which part of us it is active at the moment that is attracting this kind of behavior? Someone breaking my boundaries, someone's taking advantage of me, someone is making my life miserable. Well, hello, that's my victim. Quite active. So what does victim say? Victim say, you don't respect me. I don't have a choice. It's not my fault. I don't want to be hurt. No one understands me. It always happens to me. So if you find yourself saying any of those phrases, you try to watch your speaking patterns, and as soon as you hear yourself saying or thinking that, you can go straight away into it. It's like, hello, victim. Hi, I can see you. So the main thing about self-discovery, self-awareness, and self-improvement is to see yourself from different angles, to see yourself fully, with your shadows, with your bad traits, with your disempowered states, all of you, not just goody good part of you that you like, but also parts that you don't like. And as soon as they become visible, not hidden, as soon as you acknowledge them, it's so much easier to shift and so much easier to get into very empowered, strong state. And as I already said, the opposite of the victim is a warrior, and transforming yourself into a warrior, it can be literally done in seconds if you choose to. So here's the first pattern, and we'll move on to the second one, which is quite hidden and quite unrecognized in the adult, and you might find it surprising, but your second behavioral pattern that always lives in you, inside of you, is a child. Child, no matter how grown up we are, it never goes away. It is always in us, in our inner child. And in Carl Jung's work, he describes so empowered, beautiful, divine child that is open, loving, and always wondrous, and also a wounded child or orphaned or abandoned child. So those parts of us, shadow parts of us that suffered in childhood and looked in those disempowered patterns. And I will show you how it shows up in your adult life and how it can actually sabotage your life quite a bit, from the relationships to work situations. So what characterizes the child archetype? It holds the memories of abuse, neglect, criticism, and other traumas that have endured during childhood. Whatever you have heard, seen, experienced, felt, it has never ever left your field, your subconscious, your memory, your cell memory, your DNA. It's all there. It's stored forever, and it can be released, can be cleared, and there are so many modalities that are working with that. And I myself personally work with many modalities very effectively. And however, our emotional body, our limbic brain holds, in our subconscious, holds all those moments you've heard: you're not good enough, stop it, why are you doing this, you're useless, all the criticism, all the blame, shame, abuse that we have experienced from people around us, from our family members, from our parents, from school, from teachers, whoever hasn't been present, has injured us by accident. Sometimes even the best parents saying the things that are quite damaging to the young mind, to the young psyche, to the young emotional body that absorbs everything as a sponge. And sometimes people just do it intentionally, and sometimes because they don't know any other way. Parents quite often use guilting and shaming just a way to control a child, and that's the only way they know how to operate, because they've never been taught otherwise, and they've never been introduced to, say, nonviolent communication or supportive, constructive communications. So the child holds it all inside. What else child does? Child gives the power away. It's dependable. It seeks protection. So in the moments where you feel like everything is too big, too hard, the world seems to be quite just crazy, uncontrollable, it's too much, I need somebody's help, I need support, I'm not able to handle this, that is your child. Child is very disempowered state. Prone to depression, sadness and depression, that part of us that is actually goes into anxiety, depression, worry, concerns, phobias, and so on. Because to a wounded child, the world seems quite a dangerous place. And it's just this sense of helplessness and hopelessness that lives in this particular archetype. And to say, as an opposite, just to give you a comparison, the empowered state, the opposite, the light of the child is sovereign. And for example, one of the sovereign archetypes is a king, is a full empowered, embodied, stable state of I am who I am. And child is a very disempowered. What else it has? It has abandonment issues. It feels rejected, needy, and that is something might not be identified, especially in our society. Our emotions are quite suppressed. We hide it well from ourselves. Any woundings of rejection and abandonment, however, 99% of people do have that, just due to those first years of our lives where the survival prevails and we're so dependable on other people for survival. So our limbic brain and our amygdala is in a constant that state of registering the world for danger and for registering the moments of when we were not understood, when we were abandoned, or when mom didn't calm straight away, when the child is crying and yelling out, mom is not rushing straight away, he feels abandoned, he feels rejected. Words of criticism or disapproval are all taken in and all stored deeply inside. And the way it can show up in an adult life, again, through rage, anger, intimacy issues, through depressions, through the sense of dissatisfaction or numbness, not feeling alive, not feeling connected to ourselves, not fully able to build a beautiful, intimate relationship with another human being, just due to trust issues and hidden abandonment issues. A child fears change, just same as the victim, due to it, again, disempowered state. And it's all for the child, it's all about survival, it's all about preserving right now, right here, the way it is, and please don't change or do anything else. The child is focused on needs, often unable to see needs of other people. When we are too narcissistic, too focused on ourselves, not able to understand or relate to others, or put others first, just experience compassion. That's the active child archetype. And to be honest, it is very active in many people. It's just the way it shows up in behavior is like coldness, it's separation, it's keeping to yourself, being selfish, or being passive aggressive, being quite vengeful, or snapping out in rage, in anger. That is active child archetype. So what does child say when you hear yourself saying, you don't understand me, you will never understand me? I want to be loved. Please, please love me. I want the relationship. I want this relationship. I want this man. I want this woman. I want this partner. I want. When you hear women say quite often, I want a baby so much, the baby will love me, that is internal inner child suffering from the lack of love, lack of understanding, lack of attention from your adult self, and seeking for this love outside of yourself. So child, or your inner child, is the one that seeks validation, seeks connection, seeks love, but the needy version of it, like clinging version of love and dependence. So codependency comes out of wounded inner child. I can't do it on my own. That's a very disempowered state. I need someone. Please be with me. I need this. I need that. It seems too hard to go through life. It seems too hard to go through certain life situations or work situations or financial struggles. That is the child archetype. If I only had been treated with respect, I wouldn't be so angry all the time. So inner child, wounded inner child usually shows up in the outer world as outer child, which is if you've seen kids that throw tantrums when a child is like around 7, 8, disrespectful, doesn't listen, misbehaves, and you see adult acting like that, that is indication of a wounded inner child. And just to add a little bit more about inner child, what did I want to share with you is, yeah, so sovereign is the opposite of inner child. When you, and again, you can snap into that state of full empowerment and full presence and connection to your inner power absolutely immediately. What I wanted to say is, okay, every time we go through life-changing situations, or say you are going through, you starting a new job, or you starting a new relationship, or you going through major life crisis like divorce, losing your money, losing your business. Those big events in our lives actually drop us back into infancy. You will notice, if you look closely, you will notice those disempowered states of the infant, helplessness, feeling lost, looking for support, looking for someone in the outside world. When people fall in love, the relationship just begins. They're constantly looking into each other's eyes, the way the infant looks into a mother's eyes. All your insecurities come to the surface. You want this person by your side. You can't live without them. You just unable to be sovereign in that point. You're just so dependable on this person. In tough life situations like losing a business, losing money, everything feels dark and gloomy. There is no hope. It's just everything is horrible. Just complete helplessness, depression, so on and so forth. That is the state of the child, of the infancy stage. And the good news is it can be overcome with time, or it can be healed with certain tools and certain modalities. Like you can be literally snapping out of that very, very quickly. Third behavioral pattern, saboteur. Saboteur is very hidden pattern, and not very often recognized, because that's the pattern that lives in our head, plays with our mind, and sounds like a voice of like a very reasonable voice of the reason. It's analytical mind. And how does it show up? It engages in self-destructive behavior quite sneakily, something that will talk you into when your voice can talk you into eating just one more cookie, or just skipping this appointment, or not proceeding with your plans, procrastinating, and so on and so forth. It can be quite convincing, but in the long term, when you look back, you see how self-destructive that is. Also, foggy, confused, racing mind. That is the indicator that your saboteur is very present right now. You're not thinking clearly, you are not achieving as much in your life, you're not on your life, you're not able to move forward with your life purpose, with your authenticity of who you are, and your vision of who you truly are. Saboteur is obsessed with knowing information, data, where you feel like you're lost in just more research and more information. I need to know more. I can't make decisions just as yet. You kind of go into rabbit hole. That is your saboteur, keeping you away from your decisive, empowered, like boom, I've said it, I've done it state. It's lazy, and it's procrastinator. What else does it do? When you notice yourself rushing, having no time, everything is just go go go, and that's your saboteur. That the voice that is keeping you away from your true sense of self, and your inner knowing, your inner awareness, your intuition, your inner guidance, and just keeping you on the surface of that busy mind, busy busy hands, busy legs, fast, run. That is your saboteur. Uninspired struggles with ideas, when you feel there's no inspiration, there's no motivation, everything is just gray and gloomy, blah, it's foggy. That's your saboteur playing with your mind. Also, perfectionist, getting lost in trying to make everything perfect, running in circles, doing the same thing, just adjusting tiny little bits and pieces, not progressing further. As I said before, taking one step forward, two steps back. That is your saboteur. It can keep you running in circles forever if you allow it to be. How else you can identify saboteur? Collect certifications, degrees, education. Analytical mind is right now is very present in so many people. It is very prestigious to be smart, to be educated, to have a lot of degrees, to have authority, and that mind will keep you away from your inner source of wisdom that we all have, our intuition, our divinity, our spirit, our inner knowing, inner knowledge. So and will keep you limited and not giving you access to deeper wisdom that you have, and deeper knowledge, deeper awareness. The opposite and the light archetype of saboteur is magician. Magician can create instantly incredible things, coming out with miracles, with incredible decisions, incredible solutions. If you want an example of magician, that would be the founder of Apple. What's his name? I'm sure I've got his name. So innovations that have been that coming out of almost nowhere, envisioning incredible things like Walt Disney, when he envisioned his Disney World. That is the act of magician. So what does saboteur says? It doesn't make sense when you hear yourself, and we all do that, and I absolutely do that quite often, or I did that quite a lot. My saboteur is incredibly strong because I was always focused on developing my brain, my mind, my IQ, my educations. I have numerous degrees apart from healing ones. I was in business for many years and have collected some incredible degrees. So the cleverer you are, the stronger is your saboteur. I need more information. I need to think about it. So that will keep you definitely away from moving forward. I don't know what to do. Any type of confusion, fogginess, to cut through it. I am a magician, and just go for it. Just snap out of that state. Move forward. If you keep saying I don't know what to do, you can be in a loop for a very long time. And this one is a good one. I'll do it tomorrow. That is your saboteur talking. I'll wait until I know I should do it, but if only. So all these excuses will keep you small, will keep you limited, will keep you in a mediocre state, and will keep you unhappy and dissatisfied with yourself, and it will give you this sense which is opposite of your greatness, isn't it? And my favorite one, prostitute. That is such a common pattern that is not recognized quite often. However, many people do catch it when they start stepping into the self-development path. And the way they identify it, first and foremost, a pleaser. So prostitute ignores personal needs, opinions, views for social approval. So basically, it's a traitor. You betray yourself. You betray your true essence of who you are, what you need, what you want, what you deserve, just to fit in. And that pattern is kind of highly welcomed in our childhoods. When we're little, it's highly supported by our parents. They usually, in school, they usually say, don't do this, be like everyone else, don't stick out, do not say that's not nice, and be look nice, be quiet, do not express yourself too much, and so on and so forth, this adjustment. So prostitute has no faith or trust. When I say no faith or trust, it's faith or trust in yourself. So it's all about surviving. It's all about minimizing yourself and hiding yourself so you can survive in this harsh world. I don't trust myself that I can like fully stand up and be in my power, so I'm just gonna be a little mediocre, hide myself, not stick out too much, and this way I will keep myself safe. So it sells out in order to gain popularity rather than being true to yourself. If you're posting on social media something that people will like, and you're not going to be too bashed for your own opinions or to your so your outrageous posts or words or the way you look, you are gaining popularity, you're trying to gain popularity, you're selling yourself out. And quite many people do it unconsciously, just not even taking a moment to see who is it that true self is. Who is that? How do I actually look like or feel like or act like when I'm not adjusting to what everyone else thinks or wants from me? That's really big in our society. It's big in social groups, in status, in families, preserving the face, being a good citizen. For women, it's very strong because for women, it's harder to survive. We need to adjust more, and we do basically. So that's how it looks like. What it also does, it manipulates, because when we're in a disempowered state and we need to gain some power over others, what do? We manipulate. The prostitute learns to survive and be secure in the world by negotiating away power. And that gives you, of course, it doesn't come unnoticed in your inner world. It comes an inner disconnection, inner dissatisfaction, and kind of just that internal conflict. When you hear yourself, I can't afford this, which is probably daily basis, that is your prostitute. Not trusting, not having faith, but also just using the disempowered pattern of saying like, I can't afford this. And it's not just afford this, I can't do this, I can't say that, I can't, no. Say you go for few friends want to go out, and one girlfriend says, oh no, I can't do that, my husband will not be happy, he will not allow me. That is a prostitute selling out what I want, what is important to me in this moment, for the opinion of others, to please another, to bend over backwards for other people. Can't rock the boat. This is something that I can't afford to be, I can't afford to feel. Suppressing own feelings, suppressing own emotions, becoming more numb. That's the prostitute pattern. What will I compromise to feel safe? So staying in relationships that are not happy, they're not great, they're not amazing, they're not fireworks, they're just okay, for the sake of kind of predictability, safety, money, status, just as long as it's not risky. That is the prostitute. Even staying in abusive relationship and telling yourself, well, that's okay, that is a prostitute. So selling yourself out rather than going out into a huge, big world out there that could be quite scary. And the opposite of the prostitute, the light archetype, is the lover. The lover is that kind of Christ, Jesus Christ love, when you have love and compassion for yourself, for others, that you will die for your values. You know what your inner calling, your inner self is, and you follow that with all of yourself, despite of them risk or disapproval. So you have this love for everything and for everyone. So if you trade your authenticity for safety, you may experience the following in your life: anxiety, depression, eating disorders, addictions, rage, blame, resentment, and inexplicable grief. So those are the emotions and feelings and states that are quite suppressed in us when we have this internal conflict and we are separated from our true self of who we are. It's just hidden really deep under those conditioning and under those patterns that we've created throughout the childhood. So what is it that I do? I actually free out people from their past. So ask yourself these questions. Do you feel powerless sometimes to change your circumstances? Have you ever blamed others for what happened to you? Have you sabotaged yourself by overeating, overspending, procrastinating, stalling? Have you stayed in unhealthy or unhappy relationships due to fear of change? And what would change if you finally got out of your own way, when you finally cleared that, when you finally unleashed your true self, when you actually just even discovered your true self, when you just separated the pattern from your true authenticity? How will it look like? How will it feel like? What would it be like for you inside and outside? Just imagine letting go of your fears and fully expressing yourself, having courage to follow your dreams and completely change your life. Sometimes it could be, sometimes for some people, a 180 degrees turnaround and running in the opposite direction, but it feels amazing. Fully trusting yourself and your decisions, living your best authentic life today. Sounds incredible. It might be scary sometimes, but it is incredible. So, if you've noticed, you have received quite a bit of information. I hope it was useful. I hope it was an eye-opening information for you. So you now will notice, you will start seeing your old ways, and you'll be able to change the way you operate in your life, just simply by knowing some information and just identifying those and naming those. You will already be making changes in your life. However, if it was that easy, everyone would just do it instantly and the world would be perfect, isn't it? We just read something, we've learned something, and like boom, changed. A new person, absolutely afraid. So what can you do about it? Is it okay if I show you the fast and easy way to make it all happen for you? So welcome to my very personalized and one-on-one transformational program, Freedom to Be You. That is my life passion and purpose. That's something I have done for myself. I have freed myself from the patterns from the past. And I now work with people to do the same, just because I know how it feels like. Imagine an experienced, skilled practitioner working with you one-on-one, working with your subconscious to release each of the pattern and let go of them completely. Going deep into each of the survival archetypes to see how they are created, show you how they show up and what areas of your life and how they affect you. Literally unhooking your emotional body from these patterns and rewiring your brain using powerful quantum collapse clearing technique. That is a technique that I'm using in my work. During the session, I tune into your field in order to find trapped emotions, limiting beliefs and blockages, reading your vibration, and quickly and easily removing emotional baggage, connecting you to your true, happy, light, joyful self. I only take 10 clients every month, so this offer is very, very limited. My VIP clients pay much more. They pay a very substantial amount to access my skills. And I have decided to open up this program to 10 more people. So just watch this webinar to hear more and to learn more about this program. So the quantum clearing collapse will include the collapse of each of those archetypes and each of those patterns. So what is in this package is 4 one-on-one reprogramming sessions. They are fairly long. They're an hour and a half each. And we dive deep, really deep into your particular patterns. Through testing, I will identify each of the ages, when it was created, when it got installed and locked in you, in your body, in your mind, in your emotional body, in your field, and release that. So the value of this package is $2,000. What else is included in this program? I will include 4 online transformational sessions to help you to identify your victim, child, prostitute, saboteur, and how it plays out in your life and sabotages your success. You will go through a worksheet with questions where you will go really deeply in finding them out in your life. So that is a total value of $1,500. I will provide additional bonuses to you. You will receive my full support over phone, messenger, email, and assistance with integration tasks after each session and between the sessions. So the sessions are quite deep. You go into this self-discovery, then we release them energetically from your body, and then you will have integration tasks and integration time for yourself to lock in different patterns. You will receive my full and total support during that period of time. So that is valued also at $1,500. So here's what you get. You will get 4 one-on-one Zoom sessions with me personally, one-on-one, valued $2,000. For 3 months, you will receive email and messenger access to me and support during this period of time, and that's a value of $3,500. And I would like to reward you for this decision. If you choose to go ahead and buy the program, you will receive some awesome bonuses. I would like to offer a trauma release session. That is a very deep work that takes hour and a half. Again, in one-on-one sessions, testing into your subconscious, into your energetic body, into your emotional body, and releasing all those traumas that you locked in, you might not even know about. This program, this session is incredibly powerful. I have multiple clients that have released difficult traumas of abuse and abandonment and rejections. One client was left by his mother when he was 6 months old, and we released that trauma out of his body. Another client experienced incredible trauma at the age of 10 months that affected her whole life. She was never ever able to be in kind of close in proximity with people. Like, school was an incredibly difficult time for her, and now I treated her when she was way over 50. She was living in a very remote area, 15 kilometers to the nearest town on farm, just because she is not able to be in a close proximity with people due to trauma, and we release that from her body. So you don't need to have any memories of, you don't need to relieve any kind of traumatic events. It's not the psychotherapy, it's not the therapy, it's the psychosomatics, where we go and release it from your body. Incredibly powerful session. That's not all. With the Facebook will provide you an opportunity to connect online with people that are also focused on self-discovery, healing, and self-mastery in safe and supportive environment, where you can exchange and discuss how you are going through shifting your patterns. The support is incredibly important, because quite often you would not recognize that when you do inner work, your people close to you will try to keep you in your old patterns. And I love the saying is, if you think that you're enlightened, go and spend Christmas with your family, and that will that will show how enlightened you are. Because the people that are closest to us usually kind of bring out all those well hidden patterns the best. It is very essential to have a supportive environment around you, group of people that will keep you going, keep you motivated, and will see a new you, and will support and salute that new emerging you. And it's absolutely priceless. The supportive environment, it's something that we need to, all of us need to, in order to thrive and heal and be the best version of us. So again, to show you how other people have received benefits from these sessions, Victor is sharing just after one session he felt like he let go of something incredibly painful. He felt lighter, stronger. He felt he was able to sleep better. His an angry outbursts have stopped. Before he was quite a kind of aggressive and rageful man towards his family members. Dmitry, he is a professional actor. He worked with therapists and different modalities and techniques for a very long time. It's incredibly important for his work to uncover as much as he can, and he had a very traumatic childhood as well, so a lot of that has been released, and he felt like he finally let go of so much baggage that wasn't him. he felt like all majority of his life he lived like not being truly himself, and this inner change brought incredible openings for his career as an actor, to depth of his performance, and beautiful changes in his personal relationships as well, and people around him noticed that straight away. So what will you get today? Limited time offer only is 4 quantum clearing sessions, 1.5 hours each, 3 months unlimited email and messenger support. I do work remotely with people all over the world, and I will be able to support you energetically and clear away whatever is blocking you in that moment. So that support is valued very, very highly. You will receive trauma release session, integration material, and Facebook support group, access to Facebook support group. The total value of the package is $5,000, and you will of course receive a offer today, so for a very short period of time. However, can you do it another way? Yes, of course you can. Thousands of hours of learning, studying, reading hundreds of books, the way I've done it, having your own realizations, breakdowns, and revelations for many, many, many years. You can be doing this inner work for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, hours and hours in meditations, contemplations, and self-analysis. Hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on self-development, coaches, therapists, psychologists, mentors, trainings, and workshops. And that's the journey that I have taken myself. I have been on self-development, self-discovery journey since I was 17, very deeply immersed in this inner work. And the amounts that I've spent way are over few $100,000. However, there is no comparison. You will not pay that much today for this work that I'm offering you, and I am going to offer this amazing proposal because this is my life purpose. I am a healer, and that's the only thing I want to do in my life. I want to work with people, and I want to bring as much release and freedom and help I possibly can. I have dedicated my life to raising consciousness on this planet. And I believe that everyone deserves to release from their past. They deserve inner peace and happiness and love. Outside this offer, in this webinar, I always charge the full price. This is a very limited offer to only first 10 people. In the next 24 hours, you will get this package for $1,500. You are able to pay it in installments for over 3 months. And even today, you don't need to pay the full amount. It is only a $500 deposit. It is fully refundable. You will book a session with me, and after the first session, you have a choice to decide if you want to go ahead and you want to step into the program and do some deep inner work on yourself. Otherwise, if you choose to, no, that's not for me, or I don't find we're compatible, I'm not comfortable with this work, $500 deposit is fully refundable. It is 100% guarantee. So if you take this action and you set the intention to free yourself completely, this is your chance. You'll be taken to a secure payment page, $500 deposit, It's fully refundable, it's risk-free, and it is your gift to yourself to step onto this journey of freedom, love, self-discovery, compassion to yourself and to others, and fully unleashing what is that gift that is inside of you. And I am very grateful for you listening to me today. I hope you have discovered a lot for yourself. It's taking us an hour and a half. Thank you so much, and please, I will see you on the other side. Please take this step. I would be incredibly happy to see you in my sessions. Bye for now.